guys, Aaron from JPC here. I'm going to show you how to install one of our Linelock kits today on a 2012 Mustang GT. We're going to give you a quick step-by-step on how to install this with hand tools, same as you would in your driveway. On average, it takes roughly about 2 hours, hour and a half to 2 hours to install with leading the brakes. So we'll show you step-by-step. Alright guys, first step as always is you want to disconnect the negative battery cable. It's an 8mm. Just take it. We don't need to remove the battery from the car, just pop the cable off and push it to the side. We're going to have to remove the intake from the car. They use like an 8mm socket. There's a couple hose clamps. You also have to disconnect is the mass airflow sensor here. And there's two 10mm bolts that hold down the heat shield. Alright guys, we got to take this top panel out. What we have to do is there's a couple of these clips right here. What you can do is either take a screwdriver or a pocket knife or whatever you have, pull it open on the side, just take it, push it in, pull it up, pull the tab out. And now we can remove the entire panel. Just be gentle, they're kind of fragile. Alright guys, next step is we're going to remove the brake line from the car. What you're going to need is a rag and a 15mm wrench. What you want to do is put the rag in there just so you don't spill any brake fluid. Take your wrench and pop it loose. Alright, next we're going to pull it off the master cylinder. So what you do is take your 15 wrench, put your rag in place. Start taking that off. Alright, we just popped it out. There's a couple clips down here holding it in. Just pull the line out. Put your finger over the ends just to protect it. You don't want to spill any brake fluid on your paint. Pop this out. Next up, we're going to assemble the Linelock solenoid. What we're going to have to do is put some pipe tape on these fittings. What you do is just take it and put it on the threads. Alright, now we're going to put our fittings into our solenoid. Screw them in by hand at first. And just tighten them down with the wrench. Alright, we're going to install the line on the ABS solenoid first. Just take your line, put it through, spin it around. And we're in. Alright, now that we got the front line mounted, we're going to need to install the Linelock solenoid. Leave the front line sort of loose just so we can get some adjustment. We're going to mount this in here, just get it started by hand. Next we're going to install the back line. It goes in fairly simply. Alright guys, next up what you got to do is bleed the brakes. Just use an 11mm wrench. What you're going to have to do is put the car in the run position and then have your buddy pump the pedal 3 times. Take your wrench, put it on the bleeder. While he's holding the pedal to the ground, crack the bleeder. And then wait a second, a little bit of fluid is going to squirt out. And then tighten it back up. And do that about 3, 4, 5 times, whatever it takes to get the pedal hard. Next step is to wire up the Linelock switch. First thing you want to do is wire up the ground, which we ran up to this bolt right by the ABS module. Next up we ran the other wire through the grommet and the firewall, which can be seen right over here. Next step is we're going to wire up the brake pedal switch with the diode wire. It'll be the wire all the way on the edge. There's going to be a violet with white. Don't mix it up with the violet and red wire. Next up we're going to wire up our power fused wire here. It's going to go to a gray and red wire out of the cigarette lighter and come up here to a spade connector. Here we have the other wiring for the Linelock switch. We have 2 wires going to this one spade connector. We have the white wire here which goes to the brake pedal switch, and then we have this red wire here which goes to the Linelock solenoid itself. Here we have our Linelock switch mounted. What we did is we just took a hole saw and drilled a hole in the side of the center console bezel, and then the switch should pop in directly. I'll show you the back side. Now before we put it all back together, just want to show that all of this wiring can go through the dash and the center console and come out through the engine bay. Nice and clean install.